Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror,
awesome.
guys. We want to play a game. I'm Ken Sledge.
I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror. Today, we are joined by some great friends of ours. We have JDev TV, Jason over here. Down here, we have Kaylee and Rob, that horror couple. How you doing, guys?
What's going on?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm very happy to be here.
Oh,
Awesome.
we are so happy
Thanks for
to have
having
you
us,
guys
man.
as part of this. Now, before we get started on the reason that we're here, as always, we're so proud to have our friends here along for the ride with us. Now, before we get started, JDev TV, Jason, can you tell everybody a little bit about your channel and what goes on over there?
Well, I'm not the horror guy. I like horror, but horror is not my focus. But I'll cover some things like Halloween, Scream. Anybody heard of Scream before? Friday the 13th. I love the Saw franchise. My main thing is like Walking Dead stuff, anything Walking Dead related, rankings, episode reviews, character rankings, episode rankings. I love UFC reactions. That's like the hottest thing on my channel. When I react to a UFC fight, I get thousands of views, unless YouTube pulls it, which they've done with my last one. I'll get it back in a couple of days. And then probably right now, Dexter New Blood is really hot on my channel. So those are my three focuses right now, but I cover a lot. Like Spider-Man ranking will come this week. Having a hard time getting through a lot of those films, but I do a little bit of everything.
Awesome.
All right, and Kaylee and Rob, that horror couple, what can you tell people about your guys' channel?
You want to take this or should I?
We cover everything like horror TV shows, horror movies. We just
Trailer
like to,
reactions.
Yeah, trailer reactions. We just like to talk about horror and
We cover Walking Dead. We cover a few TV shows like
American Horror Story. Joe Bob's Last Drive-In show on Shudder.
we did a few trailer. We do a lot of trailer reactions, and we're branching out a little bit. Like we did the
We
Spider-Man.
did Spider-Man trailer reaction, and we're gonna do a review after we go see it on Thursday.
She made me do it. I said we're going against the grain with that, but she made me do it. So
No spoilers.
No.
We're big Marvel fans.
Yeah.
So I'm totally okay with you guys branching off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for those of you that are joining us real quick, I want to catch up on the chat real quick. John is here. John, how you
Hello.
doing,
what
my
up,
friend?
John?
Great to have you here. Antonis, another good friend of mine, is here.
Hello.
Antonis,
I like the
how you
Jason
doing,
mask,
buddy?
man.
Yeah, Antonis is the shit. And,
Yeah, dude.
Antonis says that 4 is the best. So
Oh, really?
we'll see how everybody else ranks that. My dude, Chris Marshall,
Hey, Craig.
OG right here.
How you doing, Chris?
Shaheen is here. I'm at the theater right now and then attending a Tuesday dinner at Applebee's. Hope you guys have a great time tonight. Sorry I'm going to miss this. I will rewatch on the replay and give my ranking comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate
Thanks
it.
for stopping by.
Yes, Shaheen, we appreciate you. Now, for everybody that's joining us, if you are not yet subscribed to JDev or That Horror Couple, their links are down here in the description. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I wouldn't have them on the channel if they weren't great friends that made great content. So, and
Thank
Daniel's here. Daniel, at the
Hi.
end of the show,
What up?
I promised Daniel that we would also give our favorite kill, our favorite trap from the
Nice.
full franchise. So
Oh, easy.
at the very end, we'll be doing that.
It's-
So,
Okay.
and then
It's a toss-up
Nathan,
for me, but
one of my great friends is here.
Hello.
What's going on, Nathan? How you doing, buddy? So the reason
Thanks
we're
for being
guys,
here.
We are here to rank the Saw franchise, Spiral included. Now, before we get started, I do want to say for those of you that know me and you know my good friend, the Lost River Drive-In Nick, you know that I've already ranked this franchise over on his channel. My rankings have changed a little bit with watching Spiral and going back and rewatching. So, yes, they are a little bit different. So I'm going to get us started at number 9. Number 9 for me and hopefully everybody else, because this movie's a big piece of shit, is Jigsaw. Jigsaw to me is hot garbage. The reason that I love the Saw franchise is how unpredictable the franchise is and how each movie in its own universe could be its own film as well. With Jigsaw, it was completely predictable. The kills were not very good. The traps were not very good, with the exception of the big spiral one.
What?
That's the only one that really stood out to me and is memorable to me from that movie. And the prequel aspect I thought was just not very good. So to me, I don't have very much to say about this movie. I was not a fan of it at all. So for me, number 9 is Jigsaw. What about you, my love?
So ours is not the same. For me, it's actually Saw 3D.
Three. Ooh.
Yeah. So, okay, I feel like it doesn't go with the other Saws as much. Like, okay, for example, the beginning, like, kill, the trap, where it's like the two boys, and then like the cheater girlfriend. They do this trap and it goes nowhere, and like that just doesn't seem like a Jigsaw type, like, I don't know, trap to me. What? Why?
No, there's a reason why that trap doesn't go anywhere, and I'll talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my opinion.
Yep.
Also, okay. So Dr. Gordon.
Yeah.
Isn't dead, and now he's like helping him, but he cut his freaking leg off because of him, and he like kidnapped his daughter and his wife, but he's gonna help him. Like, that just seems unlikely to me. So, I guess that's why. But I will say there's a couple kills in it that I like the racist guy that's like stuck to.
Oh, the guy from Lincoln Park.
Yeah, that's stuck to the car, and he gets his back ripped off. That's pretty freaking cool looking.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, and the fishhook one, the fishhook trap, that is horrible to watch. Like,
so bad.
That one is horrible to watch. It makes me cringe.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I do like how Dr. Hoffman gets to say game over.
Oh, how Dr. Gordon?
No, Gordon Hoffman. I said Hoffman. Yeah.
Because Hoffman's the one that's dying.
Yeah. So that's my choice.
Here's why I don't like it. Let me give you the 50 reasons
I
do.
I like the kills. I like some of the kills, but some of it doesn't make sense.
Right. All right. Fair enough, I guess. How about you, Dev? What's number 9 for you?
Number 9 for me, and I hope nobody disagrees with me. I watched it over. I just don't like it, and that would be Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now, wait. Here are my reasons,
dude.
I guess I was expecting more tie-ins from the original series. The only tie-in is somebody's mimicking John Kramer's, motives and what he does. And I was a little upset by that, but I kind of expected maybe that wasn't going to happen. The movie, it takes like 45 to 50 minutes to get me like into it. The traps at the beginning are kind of like, they get better. I will say the part with Zeke's former partner, where all the bottles shatter and go out, that was awesome. That's one of the best kills in Saw. But I don't know. And then, of course, the reveal with his partner, Shank was his name, I think, being the person that's behind all this. Come on, how obvious was that? I would have, if they wanted, what this was supposed to be is a movie to start a new series and continue. I don't know if it can continue. I think they should have done a more crazier twist, like have Samuel L. Jackson be the new person behind all this, or Zeke. That would have made it more shocking, in my opinion. But I'm sorry to say, Spiral, it's number 9 at the moment, but it could go up. I've only watched it twice, so.
Okay.
All right, Kaylee, you want to give us your number 9?
Jigsaw.
Yeah.
I feel like there was just not. It just kind of fell short with me in regards to like the plot and everything. It just didn't feel like a Saw film, and there wasn't enough John Kramer for me. It just wasn't. I've only watched the movie like once or twice. I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
See, I agree with Kaylee as well. So, what about you, Rob? What comes in number 9 for you, brother?
Jigsaw. I had Jigsaw written down, and for me, the way it was advertised was kind of like as if it was going to like refresh the whole series or like be a new start for the series. It just totally failed to do that, in my opinion. And if you look at the kills, the blood's all CGI and goofy looking. I didn't like the way any of the blood looked, and it just looked very cartoony to me. It didn't feel like a Saw film at all to me. So Jigsaw 2017 is number 9.
Okay, that's fair. So what I do for you guys that haven't been here before, after we give our list, we're getting ready to start a new, I'm going to catch up on the comments, and I want to remind everybody, I should have said this at the beginning, you never have to do a super chat. You never have to pay any money for me to read your comments, for you to come along for the ride. If you want to donate to the channel, what comes into Sledgehammer Horror goes back out. We take every piece of money that we make and we put it right back into the channel. But you never have to pay. We will never ask you to, and we will gladly read your comments along without you paying. So real quick, I'm going to catch up on the chat. Jake Draw is here. I said this before, but Jake is one of the coolest guys in the world.
Hello.
We recently,
What's up, Jake?
I work at an Napa store, and we recently did a toy drive for the local school to get Christmas presents for kids that wouldn't be getting Christmas presents otherwise. And Jake was a huge contributor to help those kids. So, Jake, we appreciate you coming here, and I appreciate you in life, my friend.
Yes.
This is where I canceled Ashley for having Saw Solo.
I knew I'd get canceled at some point, so let's just start right off the right.
Razor Wire Trap was crazy. I agree. Nathan says number 9 is Spiral. I predicted the damn killer like 20 minutes in. So you agree with J-Dev. William's here. How you doing, buddy? William's here before he goes to take the dog for a walk. Nathan says Spiral's a piece of shit. Strange Monkey. What's going on, my friend? Strange Monkey Reviews. His episode of My First Horror Movie goes live tomorrow at 9 a.m. So I hope you guys are ready for that.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. You can skip it completely. J-Dev, appreciate you, buddy. Okay, so my love, would you like to start off with your number 8?
Okay, so number 8 is Jigsaw.
Well, it's far too far.
Yeah, see, it's not too far off. So like you guys said, it really doesn't fit with the other ones. It's like a reboot kind of, but it's not at the same time, and it's really confusing. It talks about the other ones, but it's like its own. I don't know. I feel like it was trying to do too much, and there was just too many plot holes, and I don't know. It wasn't the greatest.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Everybody else said.
I also wanted to add, like, you're going to tell me this dude has been along for the ride the whole time.
Yeah.
And we've never seen him until this movie. Like, there's just
Right.
a lot of that. I just did not, I couldn't fuck with. So.
I do want to say, though, the kill with the Carly, the purse snatcher, the one that, like, that drops the inhaler and the lady, like, dies from the asthma attack.
Yeah.
How she gets those 3 syringes in her and then her face starts bubbling. That's freaking cool.
I like how gushy you get. Like, when her face started melting. Ooh, I love
that.
It was awesome, man.
I'm like, I liked it when they fell in love.
Go watch the Notebook. No.
Yeah. All right, good job.
Thanks.
All right, Jason, you want to give your number 8?
All right. This one, I hope nobody disagrees with me. I'm sure they will. I really don't like this movie. There's elements, of course, I do like, and a lot of these kind of might be interchangeable, but my number 8 is Saw 5. I think the thing that really annoys me about Saw 5 is the characters that are in the trap are just uninteresting as hell, in my opinion. The gossip guy, he was the most interesting one, and they killed him off pretty quickly. The stuff with Peter Strahm was great, and the stuff with Hoffman is good. Him killing Seth Baxter with that pendulum thing, that was pretty awesome. The twist, this is my biggest issue with Saw 5, actually. On the DVD, the tagline of the movie is, "You won't believe how it ends." So he locks himself in a glass box, and Stram gets crushed by a wall. That's your ending. I thought Dr. Gordon was coming back for sure in that one. So I hate to say it. Right now, as it stands, Saw 5 is my number 8.
Okay.
What about you, Kaylee? What comes in number 8 for you?
Saw 5, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys agree on that?
Yeah.
What's your reasoning?
I don't really like Hoffman, and it like how it focuses on him and like Peter Strahm like mostly, and I feel like none of the characters are like very redeemable in this film, and you don't really care about any of them. So in regards to that, that's why I had to put it like really low on my list.
What about the interesting flashbacks we get though?
Those are cool. I do enjoy that, but other than that, the other characters, I just don't care about them.
Okay.
True. All right. Well, that's fair. We got 2 of those. So what about you, Rob?
For what number?
Number 8.
Number 8. I put Saw 7.
Huh. That's all 3D.
It is.
Yeah, I think it is.
You now.
The only good thing that I liked about that movie was the return of Dr. Gordon. Other than that whole storyline where that guy lied about being in a trap that was never in a trap. I didn't really care about that guy. Like I don't know where that storyline came from. So
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy.
yeah, so
poor
basically,
wife died
Bobby Dagan.
because he sucked.
Mhm.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the Saw series, it started out teaching lessons like don't do drugs, don't kill people, and then it went down to like don't lie. It's just, it's just like I just felt like the reason was just I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that reasoning, and I didn't find that storyline interesting. So that's what I put down.
And that's fair. I get that. Well, for me, number 8 is Saw 5. Same thing. For me, it's just the most forgettable of the whole franchise. There's not really anything to me that is really like that stands out about it, except for that ending, like you said, with the glass coffin. Like, I did think that was cool. How you're watching Strom get crushed and the blood is falling down onto the glass coffin. Like, I thought all that was pretty rad. But overall, to me, Saw 5 was extremely forgettable. And that is where I almost gave up on the franchise after Saw 5. I was like, okay, now we're starting to get to the point of no return. So, yeah, Saw 5 for me. Now, before we get into our number 7s with J-Dev, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. Nathan said number 8 for me is also Jigsaw. Fair enough. Favorite Saw trap and favorite Saw ending. We will be doing those towards the end because we don't want to get if our favorite ending might be connected to which one is our favorite. And at the end, I already promised Daniel we would do the favorite Saw trap, so stick around to the ending, and I promise you we will give you those as well. William says Jigsaw and Spiral go back and forth for me. It just depends on the mood. Understood. Hoffman was so damn evil. Completely agreed. Saw 5 is my least favorite Saw, but I'm a fan of the series. I'm not a big fan of the series at all. I like the first 3 Saws and Saw 6, but this is a very overrated franchise for me, and I like John Kramer, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
I mean, he does make a lot of movies.
Yes.
So when he's not like in them, they're not as
It
great.
definitely slogs along when you don't have John Kramer. Exact same, Sean. And you know what? I appreciate the fact that you guys aren't huge fans of the franchise yet. You come along for the ride with us. Thank you. Like, for real. Thank you so much. That's so cool of you. We appreciate that. Even though you're not into it, you're still here to listen to us talk about it. That's fucking rad. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us 5 and rank a franchise that you're not even a huge fan of. Much love, hugs, and kisses to you. J-Dev,
I'm a fan.
Jason,
It has its moments for me.
Ooh, this is going to piss people off. This
What
is
are we
one of the
doing?
favorites of the franchise. People seem to like this. I just don't think it's as interesting. It could change. It can fluctuate, but Saw 6.
Ooh.
The characters to me,
Wow.
the insurance guy is not memorable. I don't even remember his name. I didn't look it up purposely because I didn't remember his name. It was interesting the traps that he decided who to save and who not to save. But all in all, I didn't really like that whole thing. It was cool how they tied into insurance and like how insurance is a scam to the most part. That was all right. I do like the stuff with Hoffman. Hoffman, who I think Hoffman is a fucking badass. How many people did he kill in this movie? Like he killed Agent Perez. He killed Erickson. He just went crazy because they were getting that fingerprint thing. So that was good. The twist with the boy and the mom, who was the wife and the son of the guy that died because he wouldn't get insurance. Okay, but really not that memorable. And then the ending with Jill Tuck putting Hoffman in the reverse bear trap, but Hoffman getting out of it, that was pretty badass in my opinion. But unfortunately, at the moment, this is ranked lower. It could move up. Some of these can flip flop, especially this one and the next one. It's my number.
Yeah. Total respect on that.
Perfect.
Mine's a little higher. Obviously, I haven't said it yet, but I'll give you the reasons why mine got a little higher rankings on that. But what about you, Kaylee? What comes in at number 6 for you?
Are we on number 6 or number 7?
7.
Okay.
Number 7.
Oh no, that's okay. Saw 4 for me comes in at number 7.
Did you look at my list?
No.
Are you-
No, it just
Keep your eyes on your own
I don't
paper.
I like the backstory with Jigsaw, but it just kind of falls short in regards to like plot and other areas like of the film. And I really don't like Eric Matthews and the fact that he just pops back up. I'm like, ugh, like
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold on.
like him.
Can I cut? Since we have the same number for that,
What?
can I jump in though?
Yeah, go
I got to defend this
Yeah,
movie a little bit.
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
So wait, you guys
Okay,
both have which one?
I
Saw
agree with you.
four?
I agree with you. Yeah, so we both have Saw 4, and I agree with your points. But for a positive, I'd have to say that autopsy scene.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
How it
Yeah.
starts off. The movie starts off with dissecting John Kramer's body.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah.
come on.
That part
was
is
awesome.
cool.
That
yeah.
that's cool. That's probably like one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
As far as intros go, I think that's a positive. But yeah, I ranked it the same as you though.
Yeah.
I suspect you looked at my papers.
I did.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking at my favorite.
And that's awesome that you guys have that ranking together. That's
Yeah.
really cool. So, another thing I wanted to say before I get my number 7, don't throw your list away, because at the end when we get to our number 1, for the people that come in a little bit late, we're going to go back from the top and go all the way down at the end. So,
Oh,
my
okay.
number 7 is Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay.
I think a big thing about this movie is I built it up in my head to be something that it really wasn't. I don't hate this movie. I genuinely do like this movie. I think Chris Rock gives a phenomenal performance. I think he's funny, delivering a typical Chris Rock stuff like Forrest Gump having AIDS. That's why there's no sequel. I thought that was funny. Sam Jackson is great. And I think it's...
Sam Jackson's always great.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
the whole thing that I think is amazing is Sam Jackson said that he would do this movie if they killed him. He said that's the only way that he would be a part of this movie is if they would kill him. So
Oh.
that's why Sam Jackson had the role that he had in this movie. Now, the negatives to it, I mean, and I do love the finger trap. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the tongue trap at
definitely, yes.
the beginning.
Oh,
Like, I thought those were both badass. The wax getting poured on her face is so terrifying. Such a terrifying way to go out.
yeah.
But I do agree with you guys. You knew who the killer was because with every other kill, you watched it happen. And then with this one, I was just like, oh, hey, he's dead and here's his tattoo. So you knew he was the killer. Finding out the reason was also pretty predictable as well. But overall, I don't think that it's a bad movie, but it's definitely lower on the list. And it's not because of how bad this movie is or how much I didn't like this movie. I think it's more about the fact of how much the movies above this I like so much more. At this point of the list, for me, really, they're all very much rewatchable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From this point on, I could watch any of these movies at any time and definitely enjoy them. So that one for me would be Spiral from the Book of Saw. What about you, my love, number 7?
So funny enough, mine is Spiral also. Yeah.
Aw.
So pretty much for all those reasons.
Copy and paste.
Yeah, copy. It's. I mean, they recognize it, but there's not much about it in it.
Well, this is something else I wanted to say real quick. The plan as of right now is to make a Saw 9. That's why
Really?
there's a lot of, like, Spiral and Saw are in the same universe, but there is still the plan to continue the Jigsaw saga. So I think that's why they went the direction they did with this. They wanted to reference Jigsaw,
Yeah.
but it is spiraled off,
I
no
mean,
pun
I can
intended,
understand that.
because they are still planning on a Saw 9,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
Okay.
Cool,
and
cool.
Also, like the cop plot is like the whole movie, and I guess it's because it's around cops. But whereas like previous movies, they were just it's like half and half.
Yeah.
But the tongue trap in the beginning makes me cringe. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, when he gets his tongue ripped off, and then they send him his tongue.
Yeah.
So
So gnarly.
That's kind of
Villain?
So gnarly. So before we get to our number 6 with Kaylee, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. Sean says, it's good Carnage candy, so there's that. I own the whole series, so I don't hate it. Okay, that's good. Nathan's number 7 is Saw 5.
okay.
Yeah, I can see that about John Kramer. That character really brings the franchise to life. He does. He's
Absolutely.
fucking phenomenal. Saw 6 had some sort of story for me with the insurance thing, and that trap that killed the insurance guy is awesome, and the gun traps are cool. Saw 4 is my second bottom. This franchise was really running out of steam at this stage. Spiral was decent. I like the flying glass trap, but Chris Rock was hit and miss. Hey, Jay's here. What's up, Jay?
What's up, Jay?
No, let the rest, please. No offense to soft fans. No, and I agree with you. I would love to see. I don't want to see after Jigsaw. There's no reason to continue. You went to a prequel now. The only way that I would be down to see a Saw 9 is if we get some OGs back, like Eric Matthews' son comes back, and I'll talk about that when we get higher in the list because there's more I got to say about that.
Zombie Jigsaw.
Yeah, Zombie Jigsaw. It's gonna. You know, Rick Grimes is gonna come. We're gonna have the Walking Dead Saw crossover. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So no more Chris Rock.
You want to start us off with your number 6?
My number 6 would be Saw 7, aka Saw 3D, the final chapter. I like this one. I really love that Dr. Gordon comes back. That's a real positive for me. I love it how you see him in that group or whatever. What is the group called? It was like a survivors group or whatever. Yeah. And it's kind of like foreshadowing like that he's still here and he's taken over for Jigsaw. You kind of guess that at the beginning, but
you'll see him crawling like right out from part 1, and he gets like the prosthetic leg put on him. And they show that wole thing.
I love that flashback. I love Carrie Elway, so it was really cool for him to be back. Yeah. He's awesome. That's probably my biggest like positive for that movie is just the fact that Dr. Gordon came back, and I really thought the traps were really cool in this one too. Like at the beginning, like that where they at the store where it's the 2 guys and the girl, and she's suspended, and they're like, "Oh, screw her," and they just let her fall. I was like, "Oh, that was harsh," but but yeah, no, I liked it though. Yeah,
hey, 2 fits. Saw it.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
What number?
6.
Number 6, I put Saw 5, 2008.
A little higher than the rest of us, but
I just think I put that down, and I think Hoffman is like a good villain. I think he's like a badass. I think the flashbacks we get of Kramer are very interesting. They kind of add to the story, and you find out a little bit more about Jigsaw's backstory. I appreciate that, and the whole cat and mouse between Hoffman and Peter Strahm is pretty good, interesting to me. So I put Saw 5.
That's fair enough. All right, for me at number 6 is Saw 4. Okay. Now there are some positives about this. The rapist. Anytime I get to watch a rapist eat it, I'm all for it. And to watch him stab his one eye and then just get his limbs ripped off, I wish I could have done it myself. So, that was something that I did enjoy probably way more than I should have. I love how the woman kills her abusive husband by pulling the stakes out of herself to make him bleed out. That was awesome because if you're going to hurt somebody that you love that
not
way,
only her, but
their kid as
too,
well, you get what you deserve. I'm gonna go full Joker on you. You get what you fucking deserve. Bam.
Hell yeah.
And I do love when Detective Matthews' head gets crushed by that ice. Yeah. I thought that was cool. But this is one that is forgettable to me. If I'm not watching it at the moment, if I didn't just rewatch these and you asked me what happened in Saw 4, I'd be like the stuff that happened after 3 and before 5. I can't get you any more specific than that. So that's why Saw 4 is a little bit lower for me, but again, middle of the road. If it's on, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. But that's about it for me. It's middle of the road.
All right.
How about you, my love?
So number 6 for me is Saw 6.
That's okay.
I just feel like a lot of the flashbacks were unnecessary. I feel like a lot of them are some that you've already seen. I've already seen this movie, because of the flashbacks. And I don't really care for the political aspect of it. Although I do like the bypass mask trap where they have to
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew.
That's pretty cool. Where they have to compete against each other with breathing, and then they get their chest ripped down or whatever.
Pushing against them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Gnarly.
But yeah.
Is that the one where one of the guys was a smoker?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the guy. Yeah, I know.
The janitor guy.
That was cool. Yeah. And it was like a good no smoking ad.
The thing with Saw 6, I don't remember any characters' names except for Hoffman and Jill Tuck. Everybody else, and Erickson. Everybody else is like, what were their names? I think it was William maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, the health insurance guy was William. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the carousel, the shotgun carousel, that was pretty.
Oh, that was
badass.
awesome. Yeah. I was gonna say.
You look
that's
at
cool.
why you're gonna do this. That was cool.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where like he was killing people, but like he had a point because it like the ratio of like how people died on that merry-go-round was the same ratio of how many people died because of like they can't get the proper care. So
Right.
like you're like, oh, that's horrible, but you're like, he has a point. He has a point.
Yeah.
You know?
and he made that for his insurance. So.
And I love the chick that's like, I'm pregnant. He's like, bullshit.
I know.
So fucking great. So what about you, Jason? What comes in at number 6 for you, brother?
I already did number 6.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. No, I didn't. Never take me back. All right. Well, I know people are going to disagree with me.
Spiral.
We've already talked about it. Jigsaw is my number 6 right now. I have recency bias as I just watched this one on Sunday, and I found myself enjoyed by it, like the bucket trap. I thought that was cool, a little anticlimactic because nothing really happened, and you don't see what happened to Logan's character. Obviously, we know what happens in the end, but I get there are a lot of flaws in it, but I just enjoyed it. I really liked Eleanor's character. I thought she was cool, and then like them showing all the previous traps was really cool in her apartment or warehouse or whatever it was. The twist at the end, surprisingly, I didn't see it coming. I didn't know where they were going to go with this particular movie. Obviously, I should have figured out that was a prequel. But I strongly believe if they do another Saw movie, we will see Dr. Gordon, Logan, and Hoffman. Hoffman is alive. If they do another one, he's going to break his leg or his foot and be alive. So,
I can see that happening.
Unpopular opinion at the moment. That's my number 6.
Okay,
Right.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's your opinion.
Yep. All right, we will catch up on the chat real quick. Daniel says, Saw top 5 horror theme of all time. Yes.
Easily.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Saw
absolutely.
100% is definitely top 5. I'd put it top 3. Yeah, I'd put it up there with Halloween and Jaws and Saw. In that, somewhere in there, that would be my top 3. If we're talking about just the theme song, in total score, there might be other ones that are up there with it.
Yeah.
But with just the theme song, I would easily have Saw in my top 3. What about you, babe?
Oh yeah, I agree.
I put it number 1.
Oh, sorry.
It's similar to Jaws. It's
What
similar
about you, Jason? Would it be up there for you?
in the.
Number 1.
Yeah.
It's
What about
similar.
you,
Like the
horror
minute you
couple?
hear it, you know it's a Saw. You think of Saw right away. Just like Jaws. Like the minute you hear that, you think of sharks. That whole like like you know exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
game over, and he slams the door, and you know exactly what it is. So
For
very
sure.
effective.
I would love to that game over. Just slam the door.
I bet you would.
On
What
you.
about you,
On
Kaylee?
you.
Is Saw a top 5 theme song for you?
I really enjoy it, but I don't know if I'd put it in my top 5 because I just love. There's so many more that I'd probably rank above it.
Well, you're a soundtrack
honestly.
person.
Yeah, I love sound. Yeah, it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I really love it. It's not really. It wouldn't be in my top 5.
Yeah.
See, and I'll say this: if we're talking total score, and people may crucify me for this, I think that Dead Silence has a better score overall than Saw. I think the main theme to Saw is probably better, but as an overall score, I think the Dead Silence score, because it's made by the same folks, I think that score is better to me than the Saw score. That's my opinion.
I haven't heard it in a while.
It's
I have to
good.
maybe-
Yeah.
What's that?
I haven't heard it in a while. I have to listen to it again.
Oh, the Dead Silence score. I can't recommend it enough. I love
Yeah.
that score. John says, heard there may be a Spiral TV series. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to get a lot more horror TV series with how well Chucky did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, I think that it would be really hard to duplicate what Chucky has done because Chucky is, he's the villain and he's so charismatic and funny, and they really knocked it out of the park with the cast they were able to construct with the Chucky TV series. So I think it's going to be really hard to duplicate that, but I think that it's going to be happening. I think we're going to get a lot more horror themed.
Freddy.
I would love to see it. I would
Freddy.
love to see Freddy's Nightmares done now.
Yes.
Like, imagine each episode is a different kid that Freddy's infesting their nightmares. That'd be so dope. so dope to see happen.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool, like a reboot of Freddy's Nightmares. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
I would love that.
I'm also
Never saw
surprised
it
with
be
the stuff,
Freddy, right?
the stuff
They
they can
plan
get
to do
away
a-
with these days the stuff they can get away with on TV these days with the gore. I think it's possible, maybe a Saw series. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
but-
Oh, absolutely. You know what? Honestly, William, I don't know. I would love for them to do if they were going to do anything with this, I would love for it to be a continuation with Dr. Gordon and some of the OG cast.
Yeah.
But, that's just me. There was one time in the 90s I was wrong, so it could happen again. The new Spiral series will be called Everybody Hates Saw. Everybody loves Chris. Hey, my
I don't wanna play a
sister-in-law,
game.
Ashley.
Hi.
Hey, Ash.
What's going on, Ash?
I love hearing y'all discuss Saw, but for me, the original Saw was a masterpiece, and I just couldn't get into any of the sequels. God, you're going to hate me in a minute. Nathan says, no, not top 5. I love the Saw theme song. I'll give it that. Nightmare on Elm Street, underrated theme. That's true.
Yes,
Very true.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we were just talking about you earlier, Nick. The Lost Drive-In's here.
Hey.
Yeah, happy Spider-Man week. We were talking about that as well. So Lost River Drive-In is here, my dude. All right, guys, we are all caught up on the chat. So we are now going to have Rob start off with his number 5.
My number 5 is Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay.
And when that movie first came out, I all I heard was like hate for it and like hate for Chris Rock and like how I just heard like all the stuff. And when I saw it, I actually disagreed with a lot of it because I thought he was actually pretty good. And like I was expecting him to be a lot of people said he was goofy and he was trying to be funny, but I felt like he was funny at the right parts. And he actually took his role pretty seriously. So I went in with like the thought this isn't going to be good, and I was like surprised. So I thought that was pretty good, and I thought the kills were actually pretty good too. The only thing I didn't like was they didn't use like John Kramer's voice for the audio recordings. I felt like it should have been more Kramer-like the audio recordings, because you could tell right away that wasn't John Kramer's voice. And as far as the killer goes, like it was obvious, but like I thought it wasn't who it was because I thought that would be too obvious. So I was like, oh, it's not that guy. That'd be too obvious. So when it actually was, it actually surprised me. So I don't know. So I thought it was pretty good because I went into it thinking it was going to be pretty bad. So
Right.
I put down Spiral for number 5.
Awesome.
And that's fair, because I agree with you. It was not as bad as everybody made it out to be. When I heard,
Absolutely, yeah. It got a lot of hate.
We heard a lot of people shitting on it. I was like, man, it's not as bad. I mean, the killer was predictable.
Yeah.
It's about the journey, not the destination. It was still a fun
entertaining.
movie.
Yeah. It entertained me.
We just watched it again on our way to Salem. We watched it again on the way to Salem, and I enjoy it. I'd watch it again. Number 5 for me is Saw 6. Now, at this point, I want to say 5 to 1 are super awesome. I absolutely adore 5 through 1. So it was really hard for me to be able to separate these ones. But Saw 6, I love the ring around the Rosie shotgun kill. Watching the big brother from Family Matters get got was awesome. I was waiting for him to get shot with the shotgun, and Steve Urkel was like, "Can I do that?" So I mean, that was badass. I do like the insurance thing. Like, I know you, obviously, not a lot of you guys did, but I really like that idea, and I like the idea of having someone that chooses whether people live or die have to go through this trap the whole time, and it's also so dope that the son is Roderick from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. When I see it,
you killed my dad.
I know. I was like, damn, Roderick, like, chill out, man. But and again, I loved that. That was one of the top 3 twists for me, because I thought the whole time that this is one that really got me. I didn't expect for that to be the family of the other guy. So, and then when the mom's like, I can't do it, he's like, oh, motherfucker, I can.
Yeah.
And he pulls that lever and the acid goes into him. You're just like, yes. And then, like you said, the fish hook one, when he's screaming at him, stop screaming. It's like, dude, you're ripping her insides out with a fish hook. So, absolutely, I love Saw 6. So that's where I would put this one for me, would be Saw 6.
Okay.
So, what about you, my love?
So I agree with you how, like, these are kind of interchangeable. I guess my 5 through 2, because number 1 is just my number 1. But for me, number 5 is Saw 4. So I feel like some of the storyline gets confusing with Saw 4. And I'm just curious at how many like motivations does John Kramer need to like be who he is? Like first it's cancer, then it's a car accident, then he loses his baby. Like how much motivation does this guy need? Like no wonder he's a fucking a killer, you know?
Well, it's been raining shit on this dude for 4 movies now.
Yeah, so and the battered housewife pill, I love that. How she's like, what does she say? I won or something like that when she pulls those stakes through her husband. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's probably the highlight of that. The rapist getting killed and the housewife.
Oh, in the ice block with
Detective Matthews.
Yeah. That's pretty freaking
Those were definitely the high points of that film for me as well, my love. What about
you? Autopsy scene.
Well, it seems like a lot of people don't like this, except for you, Ken. Which I actually moved this down a spot the other day, but my number 5 is Saw: The Final Chapter. This movie gets a lot of hate, and I enjoy the Saw: The Final Chapter. Obviously, it was kind of predictable that Dr. Gordon would be the apprentice or the accomplice for Jigsaw, but I just like how it was done. The movie, the whole Hoffman is just, he's a stone cold killer. How he sets that camera up and hides in the body bag and then gets put to the morgue, then kills Dr. Hebner, then kills all the people at the station. That was phenomenal. I was surprised as shit that Jill Tuck died in this movie. I mean, I should have saw it coming, but I didn't think Jill would actually die. The kill with Chester Bennington's character of him screaming, that was awesome, that whole scene. And I know I'm forgetting something that I should probably talk about. The whole Bobby Dagan stuff annoyed the shit out of me, though. I don't like him as an actor, and it was almost as bad as Saw 6. In fact, it might be worse. But the whole Dr. Gordon climax and him saying game over at the end, awesome. And one thing I forgot to mention, I don't like in Jigsaw that Logan's character does not say game over at the end of that movie. But that's why I saw The Final Chapter is my number 5.
Okay.
What about you, Kaylee? What's number 5 for you?
Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Okay.
I loved Chris Rock in this movie. I thought he did a really good job. I liked the kills in the movie. I like the characters. I loved Samuel L. Jackson in the movie. The little bits that we got of him. I thought that was awesome. I loved. One dislike probably would have to be that it seemed more of like a crime, like thriller, than more of like a horror, like torture film. Just like how the other Saws are more like horror-ish to me. This one was more like a crime, like thriller.
I got like a 7 vibe. Almost.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is what it seemed. But I thought it was very well done, and I thought it was enjoyable, and we would definitely watch it again. So
it wasn't as bad, like as everybody said.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that as well.
I thought Chris Rock was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he did okay. So.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching Chris Rock.
Right.
You know, down to earth.
All of his.
So it was really nice to see him come into the horror world and do such a great job on it. So I was totally down with that.
He did, and he was funny at the right spots. Like if he wasn't funny at all, it wouldn't be right. You know, like I wanted a little funny. So I thought he was funny at the right spots. So
yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah. So we're gonna catch up on the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna piss everybody off. Patrick says, Patrick, Steve saw content. Also, Patrick, where was my invite, Ken? Kitty man, love you so much. Hope you're having fun talking about the best horror franchise. Yes, Patrick, as I said in the comments, I was going to invite you because you're such a Saw fanatic, but I know that you've ranked this franchise a couple times already, and I didn't want you to keep repeating yourself, buddy, but you know I love you, and I would love to have had you here. Nick up in here. Nathan says...
Patrick wants to play a game.
Game over.
My number 5 is Saw 6. That's me talking to Patrick. Make those moves, Nick, and don't stay in your lane. So here's Patrick's ranking. 9 is Saw 3D. You're canceled. 8 Saw 5. 7 Saw 3. That low, Patrick. God, I love you. Thankfully, you're pretty. 6 Jigsaw. 5 Saw 4. 4 Saw 2. 3 Saw 6. 2 Spiral. Number 1 is Saw. It's hard to believe Toby Bell's almost 80. Wish they could figure out the plot to have his voice acting anyway. Yeah, Saw 3D has Todd from Found Destination, the public execution, which is so dumb, and the Brazen Bull, which you don't talk about. Also, the lazy bookend for Dr. Gordon. Yeah, he does know. So Okay, guys.
I already know what this is.
I'm ready for everybody to cancel me and to jump off.
Yeah,
So
it probably will get canceled.
number 4 for me is OG Saw.
I knew it.
Damn it, Ken.
I have Saw the OG at number 4. Hear me out. I think the OG Saw has the best twist in the whole franchise. I love Cary Elwes. I think he's absolutely fantastic. But if we're being completely honest here, this movie drags a lot. The acting is not very good outside of obviously like Danny Glover and Cary Elwes himself. But there's even parts where he is so upsetting and so just not Cary Elwes to me. So it is just it's lower for me. But again, the best twist. And without this movie, horror wouldn't be what it is right now. I think Saw definitely revitalized the horror genre, giving us that torture porn, even though I really hate saying torture porn because it's really stupid. It's a stupid term. But for me, it definitely Saw is number 4 on my list.
Yeah.
What about you?
One thing-
is Saw 5.
What's up?
So, one thing that gets overlooked, I think, in these films, though, is they are torture porn and they are gory, and a lot of people are just talking about the kills and all that. But I really think it's good storytelling all the way through. Like this whole series, you can watch back to back, and the sequels pick up right where the previous film left off, kind of like Friday the 13th style almost, where you can watch these all the way through, and the story keeps continuing. So I think these films kind of get overlooked as like good storytelling, especially in the early ones, like 1 through 4. I think it's really good storytelling. So I feel like it's more than just like gore and torture porn. It's also some good storytelling in the early ones anyway. So
I agree with you. The storytelling is definitely gets overlooked because of how gory the kills are. But this is some of the best horror storytelling when it comes from film to film to film that there is. So 100% agreement with you on that, brother.
Yeah.
So 4 for me is Saw 5. I don't like how they killed off Strom in that one.
You have this pretty high, actually.
Yeah. And I do, however, love the scene where Strom is in that water thing and he like gives himself a tracheotomy and then he like breathes through his neck. I think that's pretty cool. And then I hate how Jill gets that box from Jigsaw and then you don't find out what was in it until like the next movie. Yeah, I
they
did like
have a
that.
tendency of doing that and pissing you off.
Yeah, and they did that, and then you like find out what's in it, but you don't find out what the certain package is until the next one.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I remember you being super pissed about that one.
Yeah.
It actually happened too.
Yeah, so that's my number 4.
What about you, Jason? What comes number 4 for you, brother?
This movie used to be one of my least favorite Saw movies. I used to hate it. It's over time, it's moved back high on the list. I know at one point, Ken, you really like this movie, and you haven't mentioned it yet. But my number 4 is Saw 3. I was quite surprised in the beginning to see Detective Matthews in the bathroom because initially Donnie Wahlberg was not supposed to be in this movie because he had other film commitments, but at the last second, his schedule changed. So they filmed some scenes for him, and he's one of my favorite characters in the Saw franchise. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I like that. I like that we finally found out what happened to Adam after all this time, that Amanda suffocated him. The things that annoy me about this movie, the character of Jeff, I just can't stand Jeff. He's probably my least favorite character in the Saw franchise. I do like his wife, Lynn, but Jeff, he annoys me. And Hoffman is in this movie briefly, and you see him pick up a ring. Not many people catch it. It was obvious he was probably going to be a part of Jigsaw's thing, but just the Jeff stuff, I don't know. Lynn was good. The twist at the end, I did enjoy the twist. I was a little confused when they kept doing Saw movies. Like, wait a minute, John Kramer died, but he's still in it. So I'm probably leaving something out about the. Oh, one thing I'm really pissed about: they killed Allison Carey off of this movie. That fucking irritated me or irritated the shit out of me. They should have kept her around and been kind of like a minor detective until the end, and they just killed her off like at random. And I'm not happy about that. So this movie was actually supposed to have Riggs' character be the main character, Lyric Bent, but he had other film commitments, so he was in it briefly. But there's parts I like about it. There's parts I hate about it, but it's still my number 4.
Yeah. A little higher for me. But what about you,
Probably
Kaylee?
canceled.
What's number 4 for you, love?
For me, number 4 is I put Saw 6. Saw 6 would have to be number 4. I just like the whole storyline of like like what we talked about, like the whole healthcare system and the merry-go-round kill. And like my favorite kills throughout the whole Saw series is like the kills that they make a point or like they teach a lesson. And I feel like this whole movie is filled with those, you know what I mean? And so I like that. And I also appreciate in part 6, I was talking about before, I like the stories of this series, and we get a lot of like flashbacks of John Kramer and his life and what kind of family life he had. So, I mean, I think Saw 6 did pretty good at telling us more about John Kramer.
Yeah.
So I definitely put Saw 6 for my number 4.
Okay.
And I like Saw 6 a lot too. So, what about you, Kaylee?
I had Saw 6 as well.
I'm telling you, she's copying me.
No, I love the for the pretty much same reason.
Keep your eyes on your own paper.
I love the healthcare system, like how they made that like a main plot point, like how the insurance companies, like how they end up screwing people over and all that kind of stuff, like. And I really liked that. I thought the traps were really awesome. So overall, number 4, I had Saw 6.
Awesome.
Okay, let's catch up on the chat real quick before we get into our top 3. Ken, my friend, you're getting blocked now.
Black.
Yeah, I love Patrick so much. I can see what you mean, as Saw did get interest in horror back. Torture porn is such a weird label. Wouldn't torture horror make more sense? Yes, it fucking would.
I just like porn, man.
Patrick says, screw Jeff, such a crybaby. Walk too slow and Saw 3 is 2 hours long. So monotonous and overlong and boring. My biggest issue is we don't get enough of Lynn, John's story, the best part. Lynn, that is amazing. I do love that. That and they got kills and the gore effects from the CGI stuff that's so many PG-13 movies. Detective Carey was too busy thinking about that time she got naked for Starship Troopers. And then Patrick, that's true horror. That is, for sure. So now we are up to our top 3. So coming in at number 3, would you like to give your choice, Marlo?
Yeah, number 3 for me is Saw 2. I mean, I like all these movies, and this is one of my top favorites, obviously, because it made it number 3.
Right.
The tension is high. The acting is good. I love Donnie Wahlberg. And then the needle pit where they throw Amanda in it. Oh, I that makes me cringe, but it's really cool at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I like how they go down that trap door and they go down into the tunnel, and that's where the first one was filmed. Was behind that door. So yeah, number 3 for me is Saw 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason? What's number 3 for you?
Well, as a matter of fact, this is one of my favorites. Obviously, it's number 3, and that would be Saw 4. Some of it predictable, I admit, but I enjoyed. From the start of the movie with the autopsy of Jigsaw, then they find the tape. Hoffman listens to the tape, and then you find out that's actually he's being tested, and he's actually the bad guy. That's great. I'm upset that they called Eric Matthews in this movie. I would have preferred him to live on longer, but it was cool how they did it. The trap with the guy with the eyes shut and the mouth shut. And the guy's like, he's testing you, Jigsaw. I thought that was kind of interesting. For some people, maybe they didn't like it. The story around Rig, I think they should have utilized him a little bit more in the previous 2 movies that he was briefly in to make it more of an impact. Because at the end, some people just don't care. Like, oh, who's this guy? When he was in 2, 3, and 4. But all in all, I enjoy Saw 4. The twist, a little predictable, but I still liked it. And Jigsaw's legacy continues and carries on.
Yeah, and that's fair too. So we're at number 3 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Kaylee, you want to give us your number 3?
Saw 3.
Oh, come on.
Is my number 3. I love the flashbacks of John Kramer's story in this one. I love Amanda's role in this. I think she's awesome, and that whole like the surgery room scene that happens with like the woman that's like cheating on her husband or whatever, and all that. Like, sorry, I can't remember their names, but
The guy,
yeah,
that dude over there.
Jeff and Lynn.
yeah. I love that whole like scene, how that plays out. I think that the protagonist in this, I think Jeff, I think he's like very sympathetic character. Like you really feel for him because of the grieving, the loss of their child. I think that's a big point for me. So I'd put Saw 3 as number 3.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
I'm telling you, she's copying me. I put Saw 3 also. And I agree with everything you just said. But yeah, for me, that was the first. As I said before, I appreciate flashbacks. I appreciate a good story. I think that was the first film that offered us flashbacks, or like as far as John Kramer goes. I appreciated the brain surgery scene. I thought that was awesome. Like just drilling into the skull. I love it. And is that the first time we found out that Amanda was working for him? I think it was.
Saw 2.
No, we found out Saw 2. I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah, and I also like that whole storyline where the father he lost his kid, and he has to go. He tries to make the judge pay. He tries to make like the driver pay to hit his kid. And probably one of my favorite traps was at the end with the rack, or I think it's called the rack, where he twists the gut like each limb gets twisted around, and then the head gets twisted around. That is like we're supposed to say that till the end, but that's probably like one of the best traps I think, as far as that's a really cool trap. So I feel like Saw 3. I feel like it's a good storyline with John Kramer, and it's a good. The side story was pretty good too with the whole father losing his kid's storyline. So I like both those storylines.
Yeah, me too. Number 3 for me, which is higher on my list than anybody else's that I've ever met in my entire life, and that would be Saw 7, Saw 3D. Now, here's my reasonings for this. One, I love the fact that the Bobby guy has lied about this. He's made the money off it. And you got the scene of John Kramer coming to him, at the thing, like, giving him the book to sign. And he knows for a fact this guy's never been in this trap. He's given him the opportunity to tell him. I absolutely love that. All the Nazis in the car. If there's anything I love more than watching Nazis die, it's watching Nazis die violently. So watching all these Nazis get completely torn to shreds was fucking great, because fuck Nazis. Rest in peace, Chester Bennington. Tragedy. But at the same time, this scene was great. I love the scene. Dr. Gordon coming back is just phenomenal. And I love the first time you see him, I was in the back of the room and he's like, I love that so much. The only thing that could have been better is if he could have been like, as you wish. That would have made it even better. It is sad though when Bobby's wife dies. Like at the breaking bowl.
So nice and like
she got punished for him. Like that part didn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
I hate that fact that she got killed like that. And I love one thing I really love about this movie is it's more slashery than any of the other ones.
Yeah, I don't like that part about it.
I love it.
Why is Hoffman?
I love Hoffman as a slasher.
He's a terrorist slasher, and it's like this is not.
I love it.
No.
And now here's what I was gonna say earlier: the beginning scene where you got the two boys with the girl.
Yeah.
If you watch at the end of the film, when come and they stick the needle in Hoffman, and you got the two other pigs, that's those two kids. And it talks about those deleted scenes that was supposed to show that the two kids from the beginning that ended up killing that girl, those two are now helping Dr. Gordon. So, like...
But it goes nowhere.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, this was supposed to carry on. I think it's on 9. I can't believe it. So that's what's cool to me is you got these two pigs that end up they're supposed to be the kids from the beginning, and you can YouTube this and watch it. You can watch the audio commentary that talks about how those are the two pigs that went along with him. which I think is really cool and really rad. And I wish we could have got more to see that.
I wish they would have put
But-
more into the backstory of that then.
Sure. But to me, this movie is really high on my list. I know it's not high on a lot of other people's, but I do enjoy the movie quite a bit. So number 3 for me would be Saw 3D.
I agree, Ken.
So
Awesome movie.
So we are going to go back through real quick. Jay says, I like porn too, just try to keep it separate from my horror and my cat videos. Chester, hell yeah, they go. So we are at our number 2. So what we're going to do now is, just to kind of keep it fresh, we're going to give our number 2. And then after you give your number 2, give us your favorite trap from the Saw franchise.
Okay.
So we'll give our number 2, our reasons why it's our number 2, and then our favorite trap before we get into our number 1. So starting us off at number 2 is Jason. What comes in at number 2 for you, my friend?
All right, I'm going to get canceled for this. Ken's already been canceled, but my number 2 is the OG Saw. It's a good movie. The twist at the end is great. I didn't predict everything, but I knew that because they didn't know what that body was there for, they didn't know what happened to him other than the fact that he had a tape, that something was up with that corpse there that got up at the end. So it's a phenomenal ending. Like Ken said, and we talked about this before we went live, the acting in this movie is atrocious. For the most part, Lee Winnell, he's great writer, but terrible actor, at least in this movie. Insidious, he's all right for the ones that I've seen. Carrie Elwaves is okay, but there's some points where he's a little bad. I actually think Monica Potter did a really good job in this movie, and nobody talks about her. She may come back in another movie, who knows? But Danny Glover, to me, stole the show because he was an obsessed detective that wanted to nail Jigsaw. And he thought Dr. Gordon was the Jigsaw all along. But all in all, because of another movie that I like in the franchise, unfortunately, this only comes in at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know we usually wait till the end. Hold on one second, Jay. William's got to go. Got to give puppies his walk. There's a puppy right there. And enjoy your last walk of the night, buddy. We appreciate you joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you next time, my friend. It's always nice to have you along for the ride, brother. Before we move on, Jason, do you want to give us your favorite kill or your favorite trap from the Saw franchise?
Yeah, I guess I remember us talking about this last week, and I could completely space it out. But the one that comes to memory for me, and I think this will probably be most everybody's, but the rack trap in Saw 3 with Tim and his body twisting and contorting all over.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch, and it's brutal. And he at least tried to save him, although he wasn't very successful. That's my memorable one that at least comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, Kaylee. Do you want to give us your number 2 and then your favorite trap?
Yes, my number 2 would actually be Saw 2. I love the whole plot of the detective Eric Matthews like interrogating like Jigsaw, asking him where his son is, and he's like, "Listen, if you'll be quiet and just listen, like your son will be safe." But of course, he couldn't like do that. I love the twist at the end that his son was okay the whole time, and
spoilers.
and that you know that was the tape was like backlogged, like it like that stuff had already happened like in the past, like. And that he thought it was happening in real time. Like, I love the kills and traps in this movie. My favorite trap would have to be the needle pit with Amanda. I thought that's just so cringy. It's hard to keep looking at when it's on the screen, but it's definitely my favorite trap of the franchise.
Okay. Awesome.
I think it's funny that he was actually in a safe.
Yeah.
Like he said he'll be in a safe place, and he was like literally in a safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob? What's number 2 for you, brother?
Number 2 is the OG Saw.
Okay.
And I would just have to say, like, that's the film. We talked about this, all these sequels this whole time. That film started it all right there. You got to give it props just for that alone, you know. And I love the whole like this whole movie basically takes place in like one room. Like it looks like the gas station bathroom from hell. And like, you know, just the look of that will make you feel uneasy. I feel like just like the atmosphere is very effective. It makes you feel, just looking at it, you feel like you have to take a shower. Like it's very effective. It's, you know, so I just love that. I love the characters. This is probably my favorite James Wan film. So like, I feel like, so yeah, definitely Saw. The OG Saw I like.
Okay.
Awesome. But your favorite trap?
Yep, and your favorite trap.
Favorite trap. I like the traps that teach a lesson. So when Amanda had the drug problem and she got thrown into the needles, I like that. I like that one. Or I believe the guy that got burned in part 2 was an arsonist. Like he liked to set fires. So, and he got burned to death. So I like those ones. Yeah. Those ones that, like, they're either ironic or they teach somebody something. Those are my favorites. The arsonist comes to mind, and the needles come to mind from the sequel. So
Okay.
Number 2 for me is Saw 2. This movie blew me away when I had first seen it, and I've grown to love it even more over time. And I've made a friend with Frankie G, who plays Xavier in this movie. He's a good friend of ours. And he told us a great story. You guys keep talking about the needle pit. And he's the one that throws Amanda into the needle pit. Well, when they were filming, Frankie G, Xavier, he didn't know that Amanda was pregnant. And she told him after the fact, after he'd been throwing her in there, that she was pregnant. And he got pissed. He's like, why would you tell me that? Like, why wouldn't you tell me that you were pregnant? And I'm throwing you in here. And she was like, because I knew that you wouldn't throw me. You wouldn't be as aggressive. And I can't recommend Frankie G enough to you guys. Frankie G, he plays Xavier, the big badass in Saw 2, is the sweetest guy in the whole world. Cuts his neck off.
I like he starts cutting the back of his neck.
Yeah, to get the number.
My son.
Give me the combination.
Our son is a huge Saw fan.
Yeah.
Huge Saw fan. And for my son's birthday, Frankie G sent him a personalized message wishing him a happy birthday. And Frankie is one of the coolest, kindest men in the world. I can't recommend that guy enough, as I said. And one thing that I think is underrated about this movie, when Detective Matthews goes into the room after he's beaten the fuck out of Jigsaw, then the camera goes back to John Kramer, and he's just got that crooked smile on his face. And that camera zooms off and pans out against it. That's one of my favorite shots in the whole Saw franchise. When you see just that crooked ass smile come over John Kramer's face. I love that shot because he knows he's won. He's beaten up, his fingers are broken, but he knows he's won.
Yeah.
And now when it comes to our favorite trap in the Saw franchise, for me, still going with the bear trap, baby. Reverse bear trap, always and forever. That'll never change. Absolutely love it. So for me, Saw 2 is number 2. My favorite trap is the reverse bear trap. So you want to give us your number 2, my love?
Okay, number 2 is Saw 3. I feel like Saw 3 best ties up with the original, even more than 2.
Okay.
There's a lot less characters that you are trying to follow, and you like them more. I agree about Jeff, though. He's really hard to feel sorry for. Like what he went through, that fucking sucks. But he makes it so hard to feel bad for him. Yeah, it's a great movie, and
I haven't talked about it yet.
I know.
So.
I'm trying to think of what else. Detective Carrie, she gets killed, ripped apart.
Yeah, that's a good trap too.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I do love that one when she gets her ribs ripped out.
Yeah.
Great trap. Great trap.
But I mean, I can understand why Jeff is such a dick. Like, someone killed his child, but at the same time, it's like, and I don't know that I would want to help those people, to be honest with you. And I don't know. It's really hard to feel sorry for him though. And then you find out at the end that he's Lynn's husband and that she was really actually cheating on him, because you think that the one guy is her husband when she, is leaving, and he's like, you think he's saying I want a divorce, but he's really saying he wants her to divorce Jeff. Yeah. So that's a pretty good twist on top of everything else. And then the rack, that's insane, where he gets everything twisted. That's a pretty cool trap. But I'm going to be boring, and mine is the reverse bear trap as well. I love that one, and I love how you actually get to see it on Jill and how her face just explodes. That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're going to catch up on the chat real quick, and now we're going to start with Kaylee. You're going to start us off with number 1 after we do the chat. If you wouldn't mind Give us your number 9 all the way up to number 1. That way the people that came in late can still know what your whole ranking is. But Daniel, thank you so much for the donation, buddy. We really appreciate it. Saw's in my top 5 most emotionally powerful films. Any movie out there for the panel besides Saw that really changed you as a person? Something I'm going to say because of recency bias, I'm not going to say any spoilers right now because we don't spoil anything until it's out on physical media. But Ghostbusters Afterlife fucked me up.
Oh my gosh.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
I like a fucking
Yeah,
baby.
like,
yeah.
I was literally like bawling.
But I'm not going to spoil anything. But the line, I miss you, my friend. I should have called you, broke me as a human being.
You're just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
How you think about that?
I think about that line all the time. It literally broke me. Like,
if you don't cry, there's something wrong with you. I mean, I got all choked up too. So
yeah. Like I was sitting there with my head in my hands. Like I couldn't even look anymore. Like my heart was broken. So honestly, Daniel, I can say Ghostbusters Afterlife had a huge effect on me. So I got to go with that one. What about you, my love? Any movies that had a big effect on you?
I mean, I'm sure there's many, but that one comes to mind right off.
Recency bias.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Ghostbusters Afterlife, I can't recommend it enough. Yes, there's a lot of fan service. But you know what? I'm a fucking fan. Service me.
Antlers too. That one really, like when I'm not gonna say too much because that's also new. But Antlers, where she says, "Did you kill somebody you love?"
Yeah.
That's a
big one.
Yeah.
I like that. What about you, J-Dab? A movie that changed you as a person?
I don't really have an answer for it. Ghostbusters Afterlife, I agree. I didn't get choked up, but it certainly sometimes it takes me the second time to like get choked up about things like that. It's weird like that. Like the first time it doesn't faze me, but now like Avengers Endgame, every time I watch that.
That was my answer.
That from the moment it happened, when I first saw it, every moment in that movie makes me like, I never thought I'd like tear up during a superhero movie. But I hope everybody's seen it. I'm going to give spoilers. So when Black Widow dies, I was distraught over that because I just figured out that like I liked her character almost as much as the main, the Tony Stark and Captain America. And then, of course, the big battle where everybody comes back and Avengers assemble and Iron Man. It's a hard one. I love the movie. It's my favorite of all time. Spoiling that for a future video that we do. But I never liked the Avengers until the last couple of movies. But it's a movie that's hard to watch. It's not necessarily recent now, but that's the one I think of that makes me think about stuff like that.
Well, it's funny. I am an old man, get off my lawn guy when it comes to being in the movie theater and everybody shut the fuck up and be quiet.
Audience experience for that one was awesome.
When in Endgame, when Captain America did the Avengers Assemble, our whole theater erupted and cheered, and it was so
same here.
Absolutely.
So sick. As a fan of the comic books, to hear Avengers Assemble and Captain America, he had just gotten Thor's hammer. Oh my God, the whole theater was like, whoa! Like that was a really cool theater experience.
Yeah, that was. To
see opening night. So I will say, even me, that get off my lawn, shut the fuck up of the movie. That was cool.
He's literally convinced. We have this little small town theater that plays like one movie every weekend. He literally convinced them to play it that night. Like they never had done anything like that before.
Yeah,
he was like, "Please just play this for us so we can watch it." And they played it that Thursday night.
Yeah,
so.
we had an early screening
awesome.
of it.
Yeah, and it was just full of our town's people.
Like good friends of ours.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
We got a bunch of our friends. And
it was really cool.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movie theater experiences besides Saw and Hereditary. So, we know Kaylee was going to say Endgame as well. What about you, Rob? Movie that changed you?
Well, me and you talked about this last time. You asked me what movie actually got me into horror, and for me, it was Halloween. I was a little kid, and I was at a sleepover about 10 years old, and the ending of Halloween was just very effective. The fact that the killer is out there, and I wasn't used to seeing that as a little kid. The bad guys always got caught. So I'm like, wait, a movie can end like that? I wasn't used to that. So recently, the past couple of years, for me, just seeing Halloween 2018 with Jamie Lee coming back and, just being excited about Halloween Kills and all those releases. I saw those movies in theaters with Kaylee, and we were driving to the theater, And I told Kaylee, I'm like, I feel like I'm about to go to a rock concert. Like, I was that excited. I'm like, I feel like I'm about to like see a band or something. Like, that's how excited I was so built up for like Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and every Easter egg they threw in, every Easter egg that they threw into it, that took you back to '78. It just reminded me of the first time I saw the original Halloween and like how young I was and like how because of horror, I'm meeting people like you, and that's the reason I met Kaylee. So for that to be my first horror movie, and for them to see Easter eggs, like in recent films for that film, it like I get emotional a little bit, but I also it's like a good emotional where I'm like fuck yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like a kick ass emotional. So, but yeah, I did cry with Ghostbusters too, like you did. So
Yeah.
And I will say that horror couple, Rob and Kaylee down here, their episode of My First Horror Movie will be coming out soon. So I hope you guys enjoy that. We had an amazing time talking. So
yeah, it was awesome, man. Thanks for having us on. That was a good time.
Oh, dude, it was such a blast. Such a blast. We'll
we
work
gotta do it
together
again, man.
I promise.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey. Yeah. Skippy has gotten bigger. I can't wait to see more pictures of Skippy. I love good boys. Daniel says favorite trap, needles and wire. Video Creep, gigantic agree. I love that. Hey, Video Creep's here. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah,
Video Creep's awesome.
I'm assuming you mean the Jigsaw one where John Kramer's giving that smile. That's too. What a great shot.
You know, another one in there where he's like tearing up all of his stuff and he's like not even bothered by it at all.
He's
like,
just looking at
like
him.
whatever, dude.
Yeah, love it. My favorite kill is the ribcage kill. I just noticed Ken's hybrid Jigsaw chucked you down in the back. Yeah, back there. I'm not a Ghostbusters fan, and I loved it. Yeah, not a horror movie, but Perks of Being a Wallflower helped me understand how we all have a past that can overcome it. That's a great choice.
It's a
Great
good
fucking
movie.
choice, Jay. So now we are up to our number ones. Kaylee is going to start us, but before you go to number one, if you wouldn't mind, go 9 all the way down to 1, please.
Yeah, no problem. My number 9 is Jigsaw from 2017. Number 8 is Saw 5. Number 7 is Saw 4. Number 6 is Saw 7, the final chapter. Number 5 is Spiral. Number 4, Saw 6. Number 3 is Saw 3. Number 2 is Saw 2. And then my number 1 is, of course, the original Saw from 2004. I remember trying to sneak in to see that movie when I was like 14. It came out, and obviously I wasn't old enough to get in, and they kept throwing me and my friends out because we kept buying tickets to see The Grudge and then trying to sneak in to see Saw. So I ended up seeing The Grudge like 5 times. But then finally my mom brought me to see Saw so I could see it, and I just remember it scared me, creeped me out, and I love the twist ending. So it's one that I reach for the most out of this entire franchise, and I love James Wan, Carrie Elways, and Lee Wannell, so it's number 1 for me.
Fair enough.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very
Rob,
cool.
you want to give us your number 9 through number 1?
Sure, why not? All right. Number 9 for me was Jigsaw, 2017. Number 8 was Saw 7. Coming in at number 7, we got Saw 4. Number 6 was Saw 5. Number 5 was Spiral, the Book of Saw. 4, we got number 6. 3, Saw 3. 2, we got Saw OG, the original. And my number 1 is Saw 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just feel like that's the first movie where we actually got to see John Kramer. He wasn't laying in a pool of his own filth and blood. He was actually up talking around. We never really heard him interact with anybody before. So like I really think he's a legendary character. And this movie is like the first time we actually got to see him have a conversation, him speak to somebody. I like the traps in this film. I feel like the traps are probably some of the best traps in this film. I like the pacing of this film. It's very entertaining all the way through. I mean, I give Saw, the original Saw was my number 2 because I just feel like it created this whole series. But I feel like as far as films go, Saw 2 is a better movie. I feel like it's the most watchable out of the whole series. I feel like if someone never saw a Saw film, I'd probably throw on the sequel just to show them what it's all about. You know what I mean? So, because like the first one's awesome, but you're not going to know who Jigsaw is because he's laying on his belly the whole time. You know, so
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like Saw 2 is really, it's my number one because it just feels like a Saw film. It's got that Saw feel, and it has some John Kramer to it. It's got all you can want. So, and I like the whole storyline where the cop and his kid, and I like that whole twist at the end. And the characters, I like everything about it. And I like how they wind up back in like the rest stop from hell at the end, that room, and
Yeah.
you know, so I really think it's a good, it's definitely a good double feature. Saw 1 and Saw 2. You can watch them back to back, and the fact that they wind up back in that room definitely, you know, it syncs the two films together for sure. So
Right.
didn't we see like we saw a body too at the end of Saw 2, where like the chain
Yep.
where they were hooked up to. So
Zap
Adam's body.
yeah.
and Zap.
Yeah, so that I feel like that's the best one. My favorite of the series is the sequel.
That I have it above the original, so I agree. Before I give my number 9 to number 1, I do want to remind everybody, if you are here for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Today, which is December 14th, Sledgehammer Horror hit 2,250 subscribers. So we're a quarter of the way to 10,000, which we're super excited about. So
Congratulations.
thank you guys very much. And if you also have not subscribed to JDev TV or That Horror Couple, their links are down here in the description. As I said at the beginning, if I have them on here, not only are they friends of mine, but they make good content. So I'm very excited that I get to have these guys as friends, but also that I get to have them as content creators in my life. I would like to share them with you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button down here. Check out all the hard work they're putting into their channels as well.
Oh, Ken.
That's good stuff. Let's get back to the torture porn. So my ranking: 9
You.
was Jigsaw, 8 was Saw 5, 7 was Spiral, 6 was Saw 4, 5 was Saw 6, 4 was the OG Saw, 3 was Saw 3D, 2 was Saw 2, and my number 1 is always and forever Saw 3.
I knew it. It's
Now,
always 3
it is.
for you.
It is. Child's Play 3, Saw 3, Friday 13th 3, Halloween 3. It's always the 3s for me, except for Nightmare on Elm Street. That's 4. But now here's the thing. With Saw 3, everybody bitches about Jeff. Slow Jeff. Jeff doesn't care. You know what? My fucking son is dead. And you guys didn't do anything to make anything happen. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. Jeff moves 10 times faster than I would have. Like, cause all these people, as that dude's neck's breaking, I'm going to be up there rib punching him the whole damn time. So I wouldn't give a fuck because, oh, it's not going to bring your son back. Well, you know what? Me forgiving him isn't going to bring him back either. And that's my life. My life is gone. And you guys took it away from me. And the person that did it, you let walk. I don't give a fuck how sorry he is. I completely sympathize with Jeff. And to be honest with you, Jeff moved way faster than I would have. It would have been super slow motherfucking Ken in that one. So for me, and you talk about emotion in the Saw movies, burning his son's possessions.
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That got to me. Yeah, that got to me.
Where he's dirty harrying it in the mirror with that gun. You know, like, I could just imagine that would be me if I ever got to run into that person. And then, like, one trap that doesn't get talked about a lot, you have the one lady that she's getting all the water poured on her. She's literally freezing.
Oh, she froze to death.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, like, that's another one. It's, like, such a terrible way to die.
Yeah.
But the ending, I think this is the best twist. I think the twist in this one is better than the one from Saw. When you find out that that's Jeff's wife.
Yeah.
And the whole time, Don Kramer was testing Amanda, not Lynn.
Right.
You know, and then like, after Jeff cuts the throw, and then you see her head get blown off by the shotgun collar. Like, I love Saw 3. I could watch this movie over and over and over and find different reasons
Well, and
to fall in love with it more.
you find out his daughter is now somewhere
And
with
she's
a
trapped.
limited supply of oxygen, and that he just screwed his chances up of ever
Yeah.
finding her.
But again, like, I don't blame him. I don't blame Jeff. Like, again, I get it. Slow Jeff. He's slow. He's annoying. But
I just think it's his attitude. But I get it. I get it.
yeah, if that was my son, anybody that knows, look, not Sledgehammer Horror, anybody that knows Ken Sledge knows that my son is my best friend. Me and my son do everything together. Literally, he is attached to me at the hip all the time. And my girls are there. You know, my girls are my heart and soul. My son is my best friend. Like, I would die for my girls. I would be my son, my kid. My kids are everything to me. And if something happened to one of them and somebody had caused something to happen to them, that's a wrap. That's over. That's game over. I hate no pun intended, game over. But, you know, I would do whatever to make sure that person felt the pain that I was feeling. So,
I agree.
number 1 for me is Saw 3.
Okay.
I will finally shut the hell up. What about you, my love?
Okay, you want me to go down
Yes.
my list?
Oh, list, yes.
All right, 9 was Saw 3D, 8 is Jigsaw, 7 is Spiral, 6 is Saw 6, 5 is Saw 4, 4 is Saw 5, 3 is Saw 2, 2 is Saw 3, and 1 is obviously Saw OG. So I guess it's just, I think not knowing what Saw was about going into watching this is what makes it the best for me. You obviously know that Saw is a bunch of twists, but you didn't know that when you watched the first one,
right?
And you didn't know that dead guy that laid there for 5 hours was actually alive, and I don't know, the iconic music that goes up, and it's just the first time I watched it, my jaw dropped. Like, maybe some of the acting was shit, but it was a low budget film with a big impact, in my opinion. Yep. So, for number 1 for me is Saw.
That's very fair. What about you, Jason, J-Dev? What's number 1 for your list?
Well, okay. So number 9 for me was Spiral from the Book of Saw. Number 8 was Saw 5. Number 6 was Saw 6. Number 8 was Saw 5. Number 7 was Saw 6. Number 6 was Jigsaw. Unpopular opinion there. Number 5, Saw the Final Chapter, otherwise known as Saw 3D. Number 4, Saw 3. Number 2, Saw 4. Number 3, Saw 4. Number 2, Saw. And number 1, by process of elimination, I agree with Rob, the best one of the series, Saw 2. Detective Eric Matthews is my favorite character in the Saw series at the moment until they make another one. I really enjoy this movie, just like you said, Rob, we get to know John Kramer in this movie. The last movie, we barely saw him other than laying on the ground in one scene with Zap, his name is John part. It's crazy how John says to Eric, I just want to talk. And if you would have talked to him for however long, the safe would have opened and Daniel would have came out of a safe place, which is a good wordplay. Kind of reminds me of something Eminem would do, a good wordplay. Safe meaning 2 different meanings there. But I just like this movie. It's a lot more faster paced than the original. The characters are, while they're not as iconic, well, at least Matthews is, but the other ones not as iconic. But it's entertaining. Like you said, Ken, about Xavier, played by Frankie G. I loved his character. He's a dick in the movie, but he does it so well. And in my opinion, maybe an unpopular opinion, I think the twist in this movie is the best twist because I honestly didn't see it coming because Amanda was in a trap and I was clueless to that. So that's I think that's why this one is so high on my list because it's the most excited I was for it, and I just enjoyed Saw 2 and I can't talk enough about it. So that's my number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, perfectly fair. So guys, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick, and then we're going to open the floor up a little bit before we let everybody go. Yes. Hey, Art with Horror is here. Hello, you guys. Hi, Art. Good friend of ours.
What's up, Art?
Agree, Ken. Video Creep is awesome. I'm just an ideas guy. He's the talented one. Video Creep is such a great dude. I fucking love that guy. Hit that sub and like, or that Chucky Jigsaw hybrid is going to be at the foot of your bed tonight. 100% facts right there.
It probably will be at the foot of my bed.
It will be at the foot of yours. Daniel, Ken, Ashley, J-Dev, Horror, a couple great content tonight going over Spider-Man films for this Thursday. See you next live. Yes.
Thanks, man.
Real quick, we do want to open up the chat to any questions you may have for Sledgehammer Horror, J-Dev TV, or that horror couple. But before that, you were just talking about our next live. Our next live will be this Sunday. And we are going to be ranking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise with Rudy's movie reviews and also my good friend Jennifer Dangle, also known as Queen Malvolia, Queen of the Screams. So stop by on Sunday and check us out ranking the worst horror franchise of all time with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Wanted to fucking punch myself in the face having to watch this franchise again. So like I said, we'd like to open up the chat for any questions you may have for anybody here. while we're waiting, J-Dev, can you tell us what you have, anything you have coming up on your channel here soon?
I have a Spider-Man ranking probably coming out Friday, most likely. I'm doing review episodes of Big Bang Theory. Dexter, New Blood's newest episode will be probably early Sunday morning at like 1 o'clock in the morning. There's a UFC card this Saturday night that I may or may not do reactions to. It's not a pay-per-view card, but it's certainly something that gains momentum on my channel. So that's kind of this week for me. Of course, Scream, January 14th, 2022, or for me, January 13th. Scream 2, awesome movie. Had to mention that.
I was gonna say, mine are always the 3s, man. Yours are always the 2s.
Yeah.
For Scream 2.
A lot of times.
It's all about those deuces for you, man.
I don't like Matrix Reloaded more than Matrix, though.
Okay. What about you, horror couple, Rob and Kaylee? What do you guys got coming up soon that you can tell everybody about?
We got some Christmas episodes, right?
Some Christmas horror movie reviews that I'll be pumping out this week. We have them already done. I just have to edit them. And we'll also be filming a review for Spider. I know it's Marvel, but Spider-Man No Way Home probably on Friday, and I'll probably get it out on Friday. So.
Yeah, we got a lot of holiday horror coming up, and
And Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, a lot of fun movies we're gonna go over, and
we probably do Terror Train too, because that's New Year's Eve. So we'll probably do that one as well.
So it should be fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's Christmas horror is awesome because it really bums me out when you have people that watch horror only in October. Like horror's here all year round, guys. Stick around, watch horror with us. I promise you, we'll have fun. Charles, what's everyone's favorite Christmas horror movie? What about you, my love? What's your favorite Christmas horror movie?
Probably Black Christmas. Oh, the first one.
78?
Yeah, 78.
78?
Yes.
76?
78.
Is it 78?
78.
Okay. What about you, J-Dev?
I'd probably have to go with Gremlins on that one. Maybe Silent Night, Deadly Night, or Black Christmas, the 2006 one, which isn't that great. But those are the three that come to mind. But Gremlins is the first one that pops into my head right away when you ask that question.
Okay. What about you, horror couple? What's your guys' favorite Christmas horror movie?
You want to go first, or should I?
You go ahead.
My favorite Christmas horror movie is Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think it's a great slasher, and unlike Jason or unlike Michael, it's told from the point of view of the killer, and it's not told from like the point of view of camp counselors first, and then we find out it's told. You watch this kid grow up, you find out what happened to him, and like he starts going on a killing spree. So, part of you sympathizes with him, and I feel like it's a very effective and probably underrated horror movie. I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough, even though it did get a good release, got a good Blu-ray release and all that. But I feel like it's a good horror. It's a great horror, actually. So Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I'd have to go with Black Xmas from 2006. I know Black Christmas is technically a better film, but I think I just love the Christmassy atmosphere and how fun it is.
The flesh cookies.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so Christmassy and like gory. And I also really love Better Watch Out. I think that one's really really fun and underrated. So I love that one.
Do you know what mine is?
Is it Gremlins? Krampus?
Krampus. I love.
Oh,
Krampus.
I love Krampus.
That's her movie.
I dig it, man. I really dig Krampus a lot. Black Christmas 74, which Nathan pointed out is not 78, it's 74, so my apologies.
My bad.
That's up there. I think that's great. What I love about that movie is the true feminism point of view from that movie. Before, something I've talked about on this channel a lot, and everybody knows how passionate I am about this. Horror has always been ahead of the curve when it comes to these things, and this is back in 1974. And Olivia Hussey finds out she's pregnant. She's like, I'm going to get an abortion. And the guy's like, no, you're not. She's like, fuck you. Yes, I am. I'm going to do what I want. And then he's like, well, I failed my piano thing, so you're going to quit school. And she's like, I'm not going to drop everything in my life because your plans got ruined. Like, I love the empowerment. That's natural. It's a natural, real feeling of empowerment that you didn't get from Black Christmas 2019, where it seemed like such a forced, fake thing. So Black Christmas 74 is a huge one for me. I do enjoy that a lot, but Krampus, it's got this like cheer that goes along with it. It's like, I don't know, it's just so special to me. I love Krampus a lot. So great question, Charles. We appreciate it. Jason, no question, just wanted to thank you guys as always for an entertaining stream. Much love. Thank you, Jay. We appreciate you guys always coming out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so cool to have you guys coming out and just hanging out with us and watching. And I just talked to that horror couple in JW before, but Sledgehammer Horror is important to us. We love doing this, but a big part of it is we get to hang out with our friends. We're talking horror, and everybody in the comments. We get to hang out with you guys every week, and we get to know you guys more and more, and it's so cool to us.
We love hearing your opinions.
We do.
Yeah.
We look forward to these all week long. We're always so excited to do this with you guys. So I got a question for everybody. We talked about just now our favorite Christmas horror movies. What is your guys' favorite seasonal horror movie? I mean, whether it's a Christmas horror movie, Thanksgiving horror movie, a Halloween horror movie, Valentine's horror, like what is your favorite kind of seasonal horror movie? I want to start with you, babe.
Oh, that's you.
Like a horror movie that takes place on a holiday, like Valentine's Day horror, Halloween horror.
Oh, Halloween horror for sure.
So like Trick or Treat, Halloween.
Yeah, like
those.
Halloween. That's my jam right there. Like that's, I don't know. I love
Sure.
Halloween. Yeah.
Sure. What about you, J-Dub? What would be your favorite seasonal horror?
I would have to agree with Ashley on that one. Halloween by far, I think, with the Halloween movies, all 140 of them that they have out there. Love the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Halloween horror.
Well, we must not forget about Thanksgiving. That's a great
Oh.
film. So
Nice
love
kids,
that.
bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
no, I'd have to agree. Like hands down, autumn reminds me of horror. Autumn has the horror vibe. I love fall, October.
Yeah.
So any film that can capture that, and I'm not just talking about Halloween. I'm talking about like we have like a whole stack of films we watch in October.
Yeah.
So
I pick one for like every night of the month.
yeah, we have like a whole stack of films we watch like for October.
31 nights of horror,
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, other than Michael Myers, there's like a bunch I really like to get to in October. So yeah, definitely anything that captures that October vibe for me, or trick or treating or anything like that. So.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be the weird one. I'm gonna go Valentine's Day. I love My Bloody
Ooh.
Valentine. I love
The minor,
movie
yeah.
Valentine. If you could interpret love and horror into the same type of movie and have it be like that, I totally dig it. I do love Valentine's type horror. I'm a big softie. Like I said, I've said this a million times, but she's the gore hound and I'm the softie of this
Oh,
relationship.
Ken.
That's 100% fact. That's not that's not anything. There's no exaggeration to that. Like I'm the big softie in this relationship, and if you give me a good love story, I'm hooked. I'm sold. So give me a love story, Valentine's Day type horror movie. So, Blood Rage.
Oh yeah, dude, hell yeah.
It's not cranberry sauce.
You ever watch that fight scene on
Thanksgiving
Blood
and
Rage?
Halloween,
It's so obvious the guy's wearing a wig.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Valentine horror with my yes, awesome, yes, Nathan. Valentine's Day, I'm here with you, brother. Totally. So you got any other questions that you would like to ask?
I don't think so.
So, man, I do want to again one more time thank you not only the people that were here in the chat, but Jason, Kaylee, Rob. I want to thank you guys for spending your Tuesday night coming and spending this 2 hours with us, hanging out, talking about Saw and other horror stuff. It means a lot to me
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you
us, man.
guys. So, everybody, Kaylee, Rob, Jason, don't go anywhere. I got to talk to you guys a little bit more. Everybody else, as always, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye guys.